he's 100% ready to go because he's really an asset to this team. But you're right, we're just about ready to go, and it's going to be really exciting to watch, hopefully in a positive way.
Funny you bring that up. I actually, when I mentioned him just there, I was a bit surprised too, because the info still being a bit unsure of when he was going to be back, and the Browns were not planning on having him. Like they were definitely looking longer term. And then when I heard yesterday, I saw, Benjamin says he's going to be clear. Maybe that's him being hopefully optimistic, and maybe the Browns are going to be more careful with it. But yeah, I was a bit surprised too, because I'm like, man, I thought that Benji still had a little bit of work to do to come back there. But hey, they say he's going to be good to go a week from now, kicking off camp like everybody else. We may see a situation where he's there and he's stretching with the team every day, but he may be on the bike brigade for the first week or two of camp. Who knows? But they say 100% clear, so we'll find out. I mean, all of these things, we don't have to talk about it. A week from now, they'll answer themselves.
It'll be a lot of fun to watch. I cannot wait. And it's great to see, just by the response to them coming out for that practice in Akron. I wouldn't be surprised if the other practices were sold out too. So everybody is pretty much on board for the Browns to hopefully do something good this year.
Yeah, you know what? You mentioned that. I was going to tell you earlier, I think they clearly are going to set the record. Just the interest in the new coach, the new quarterback, Manziel, the new team in general, I think you're going to see a record. Last year, 56,306 fans attended Browns training camp, 13 practices, and family night. When you put them all together, practices for training camp averaged 2,475 fans, the second highest average since 2005. The highest last year was a training camp record, all-time record, 4,466 on the first day of camp, first Sunday that weekend. So I got to tell you, I can see if they did 25,000 in Akron for camp, because I don't think they did 25,000 for last year's family day, but I'm not sure. I think it was 18 or 20,000, but I'd have to go back and look. But even so, they're halfway there just with family day and 25,000. I've got to think that this year's camp, if last year did 56, this year isn't. And I think if the average was a hair under 2,500 last year, I think you're looking at more like 27, 2,800 this year, and maybe even more. I mean, the demand is high for Browns training camp this year. I agree. I think they set the record too. Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. You and I will catch up next week. You put your Indians hat on, and we'll be right in the middle of this road trip that's really going to determine the second half for the Cleveland Indians. So you and I will talk about that Tuesday. We'll talk Browns next Friday. You have a great weekend, my man.
You too. Thank you very much, Jim.
Oh, I hit the button just a hair too quickly. My man, Jeff Gorman, thank you too, my man. You know we love you. I wasn't hanging up on you, brother. We're going to hit the break. Last chance for you to get in on the phones, 216-539-7535, 216-539-7535. When we come back, talk a little Cavs hoops, take your calls, set the stage for the Tribe. Second half, it starts tonight. All of that and more, wrapping things up next on the Sports Fix.
Every day they told us that our division was weak, but we ended up with a 12-4 and a shot at the 21st Super Bowl. Pride and joy as they carry shores. White collar days on the Cleveland Browns. You never quit.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Throwing you the best sports commentary in town. The Sports Fix.
I'll tell you what, whether you just started listening to the show today or you've been listening since the beginning of the Sports Fix, you know that our thing is how proud we are to be from Cleveland, to be in Cleveland, and to get the opportunity to broadcast and represent Cleveland to the world live right here on the Sports Fix each and every weekday. Well, I'll tell you what, that same sentence could just replace the word Sports Fix with our friends GV Art and Design and have the same statement, because GV Artwork, you guys have seen their stuff all over town, makers of some of of the best Cleveland sports apparel you'll ever see. Unique, original designs. Fantastic. They say Cleveland that I love, and then they put it on their chest, and they put it on your chest too. Don't forget, we tell you all the time, use the sales code FIX10. Any purchase you make with gvartwork.com, you'll save 10% on your total purchase, just for letting them know that you heard about it right here on the Sports Fix. So whether you check them out, gvartwork.com, or check out the brand new store in Lakewood on Detroit Avenue, they are fantastic people with a fantastic product. Cleveland that we all can love. GV Art and Design. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
It's the Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
The engines are cranking and purring, and that can only mean one thing. Bike nights are back at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Rev up your hogs and head on down to Harry Buffalo North Olmsted every Monday night. Enjoy $3 drinks and beers, $5 pizzas, and crazy wing specials for all bikers, all on their open patio. Hot bikes, good friends, and great times are waiting for you. 4824 Great Northern Boulevard, right outside Great Northern Mall. Monday bike nights at Harry Buffalo, the proud sponsor of the Sports Fix. Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix.
At the corner of Carnegie and Ontario, it's basketball time at the Q. Cleveland rocks!
Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Milo hit a three-pointer on the sideline!
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book.
Joe Day,
Fred McLeod,
Hector Marinero.
Discussing the most intimate and sometimes controversial details of the largest moments in our town's sports history.
The Indians have won the divisional title.
A perfect game for Len Barker.
What a win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Their first time in a playoff.
It's the first book written from the players' point of view, with the media that covered it and the fans that watched. Finally, the true stories are told, from a miracle in Richfield to the NBA Finals.
The Detroit Pistons have been booby-trapped.
From a perfect game to a World Series one pitch from victory. To the Golden Days, book will change the way the entire sports nation looks at Cleveland.
Cleveland, you will have an October to remember.
Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Plagens, the voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix. Wrapping things up here today on the Sports Fix Radio Network. Thanks to each and every one of you guys for being with us today all week. As always, it's been a fun week. I'll tell you, man, we kicked this week in the tail. I'm just going to be straight up about it, man. Slowest week of the year, nothing. Great times this week. Want to thank Jonathan Knight, the Sportswriter extraordinaire, for being with me earlier today. Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com with us every Friday. Both of those guys, always a great time having them on the show. And here we hit, man, the end of the week, the weekend. And I'll tell you what, guys, the baseball season begins again in earnest, and I cannot be happier because at least now people won't be digging for news stories, man. I'm telling you, in between the LeBron again, I love it, man. It says Cleveland, that's great, whatever. But the jersey number, it's now a story. Should LeBron James wear number 6 or wear number 23? He has put out the tweet asking the public's opinions. Apparently this morning, LeBron tweeted out asking should he wear 6 or 23, and this is causing a conundrum for the fans who have bought jerseys, I guess, because the NBA and their retailers have put holds on all of the LeBron James jersey orders because they have no clue what number to put on the jersey. I'm looking at the jersey price, the authentic $300, man. Hey, I'm with it, man, but anyways, all of these jersey sales apparently being held up until there's an official decision made. And I thought I heard about 32. I remember before the signing, they were saying that he thought about doing 32, which I think was his Was that his high school number? No, it was, he had to do a different number like the first year in high school or something, so he flipped the 23 inside out. I'm curious why he's bringing up the 23, though, because he was the guy who made the big deal in Miami about how nobody should wear 23 anymore and that the whole league should retire the number 23 in honor of Michael Jordan, which actually was one of the best ideas LeBron James ever had while he was down in Miami. I actually agreed with that one 100%. I thought that, but it gets tricky because then it's like, okay, do we retire 32? And if we do, do we retire? You can keep going. And then whose jerseys do we retire permanently everywhere? So that becomes tricky. But I do agree that even more than Magic, even more, everybody knows 32, 33 for Bird. But 23 is just permanently etched in the brain for Jordan. But anyway, but he was the one that did that of his own volition, offered that out there. So kind of curious that he would consider going back to it. I don't know, man. I guess if you're looking at a marketing perspective, if I'm the NBA, I want him to pick anything other than 23 because then all the people that can just pull their old jerseys out have to go out and buy new ones, which I'm sure is exactly what the NBA is hoping, But I don't know. Who knows? It doesn't matter. I mean, whatever he picks, the 23 would just become one of those hardwood classics that they call it, where the NBA takes over those. I saw something funny. Similar subject, but different from the Cavs. The Hornets, Charlotte just switched to the Hornets. They had to invent it's a slightly different Hornet logo and everything because the actual Charlotte Hornets stuff, the authentic one from the original Hornets franchise, the NBA now owns it because it fell to the hardwood classics, the old logo. I thought, man, well, couldn't you just reassign it to the team? Because I loved it. I loved Buzz, the old Hornets logo. Not that this one's fine. It's just a modernized version of it. But I thought that was funny because now the league makes their hardwood classics money off of the hardwood classics version of the Hornets jersey. Meanwhile, the Hornets are selling the new Hornets jersey. But so I'm sure if LeBron went with 6, I really thought 32 was what he would go with just because it was different and they could sell all new jerseys. All the Miami people that still like him and that followed him to Cleveland couldn't wear their 6s. They'd have to go get a 32. All the 23s would have to go get a 32. But anyway, but that's a story because there's been nothing going on in the news. This is also a top 10 front page news story on ESPN's website. So there you go. Welcome back, baseball. Let's get it rolling. Cavs, though, hey, some other stuff. Mike Miller was doing a radio interview yesterday. Nothing breaking. Nothing that we didn't already know about as far as he's reached out to Ray Allen and asked him to come here. We talked about James Jones signing, Mike Miller. Ray Allen would be another one. Kevin Love. I'll tell you, yesterday I was getting pretty frustrated because everybody kept sourcing this Bleacher Report article. The first one that really started with the whole Cavs have changed their mind and will now include Kevin Love, or will now include Andrew Wiggins in this Kevin Love deal that they're talking about. And what LeBron wants, LeBron gets. I mentioned that earlier with Jonathan Knight. I saw that line on the thing, and I got to tell you, I'm not buying it. I'm not saying that that the Cavs won't do it. And obviously, if you can go get Kevin Love for the right price, you go get him. But I don't believe that we're talking about the right price. I mean, you're not just talking. People think it's Wiggins for Love straight up. First off, it's Wiggins and Waiters and 2 number 1 picks. That's where the jumping off point is on this thing right now. And I say, let them sweat it out. Let them. If somebody else wants to give up a king's ransom for a guy that's not going to play there, then let them. But I don't think that's going to happen. Let them sweat it out. Plus, I think Kevin Love holds a lot of the cards here because if you remember, there's a lot of these guys that can make it very hard on their team if they simply say, I won't re-sign anywhere but Cleveland. And they make that clear to the Timberwolves. Well, guess what? You've just cut the leg out from under them because if they want to make a trade, their options are now limited. Or they can wait for you to go to free agency. Now, I can tell you, for everybody, and I was one too, that said, well, why don't you just wait, sign Kevin Love in free agency? Salary cap will make that an impossibility once Kyrie's max contract kicks in next year and all that too. And that's another thing. For everybody that's jumping on the get Kevin Love trade, number one, I like him, but I don't like him all that much to mortgage that much for him. Number two, look at the money. I mean, you will very quickly. All I'm saying is that I can see the Cavaliers ending up very quickly, 2, 3, 4 years from now, where Miami ended up. Or actually in a worse case, because they have a little more flexibility being Miami and not being Cleveland as far as maxing out your salary cap, and all of a sudden you've got 3 players taking up 75% of your salary cap. And I get it. Those are 3 players together that make a strong core, but I'm